Okay, I think we're live. I think it's happening.
I do feel accomplished when that happens, actually.
Technology doesn't want to be our friend today, but we will persist, and we're gonna be completely awesome.
All right.
So I'm gonna say hello to all you out there right now, and start saying hello in the comments as you come in. And I'm going to make sure that this gets shared in my private group too, because I want everybody to see it who wants to see it. Welcome, Lauren.
Hi. Oh, fun. We haven't done this before.
We haven't done this before, and I just wanted to work out. Okay. I just want us to look good.
I
So
think we're very cute. I think we're still you look great.
My gosh, thank you. Thank you. I'm home alone without my husband all day today because he's out shooting.
That sounds good.
It's good. Another client of yours. So let me bring everyone up to speed. First of all, hello everyone who's watching and who's going to be watching in replay, also on YouTube and on my blog at BEXLIFE.com. My name is Rebekah Borucki. I have a website called BEXLIFE.com where I teach people how to access their own personal brand of bliss every single day, no matter who they are, where they're coming from, what they've done, what's happened to them. Doesn't matter. You can find happiness now. And I'm here with my amazing life coach who changes my life every single time I talk to her. Lauren Zander, who is the co-founder of the Handel Group and the co-creator of the Handel Method. It is a method that I have integrated into my own coaching with my own clients. It is phenomenal. I'm a huge evangelist for it. I'm so excited to share this with you. But today we're just going to jam a little bit because I just want you to get to know Lauren and a little bit more about my story and how I came to work with her. I'm going to let you talk in a moment, Lauren, but I just want to say one more thing. The reason why I share my work and my story and also my journey of imperfection, of red hot mess on the internet is because I am a true believer that the real joy, the real happiness, the real learning happens in the process. It's not about where you're going to. It's the journey along the way that makes us better, that makes us brighter, that changes the world. So I want to encourage all of you to stop waiting on whatever you've been waiting on, to start sharing your story, to start living your life, to start being happy, and do it now. Because even in the midst of bullshit and chaos and trauma and struggle, there is so much joy. There's so much beauty. So that's why I do what I do. I think Lauren agrees.
Yes. I am a big advocate of yours, which is why I'm also here, is because of how proud and impressed I am with your spirit. Really, your whole damn spirit, the whole thing. I'll take all of it all the time.
I'm trying. I'm doing the work. So, Okay, so wait a minute. Oh, so we have some people saying hello. Hello, Jerry. Hey, Gareth. I've not come to Ireland yet, and yet is the operative word because I will be there. I promise you. Ivan and Victoria and Jackie and Linda, they're all here. Hello. Please post your questions as you come in, as we're talking. Your comments, your questions, your aha moments, all of it. Lauren, tell me why it's so important for for every single person on the planet to have a coach.
Well, first of all,
tell me what you do. Tell me what you do, and then tell me why we need you.
First of all, if you're actually happy and you're loving your life, I don't think you need a coach, right? Like, do I think that's possible? That is possible. If you want to be a wild achiever, that doesn't mean like nothing's enough. That actually just means love life, come up with new dreams, and be a pioneer, or you're unhappy. Or there's areas in your life you're happy and then areas in your life you're really not happy and you really don't know how to fix them or what's going on. That is really what I've spent my life's work doing, like helping people in either one of those moments, right? Dream bigger and chase your dream and really figure out how to have integrity with your dreams and have really great ones so your life is worth living. And then if there's areas that I call cavities or you need a root canal, the Handel Method, I've been developing that for 20 years.
Okay. But let me tell you something. I don't consider myself to be Okay. Okay.
Right.
I'm about to get coached. I don't even want to say it out loud.
I'll do it. I'll do it. You know, I can't. If you can't help to say it, I can't help to coach it.
I did not start working with you because I wanted to be a high achiever. I just wanted to have, that's untrue. That's untrue, actually. Because when I say high achiever, this is so much fun. I could do this all day. Oh. When I say high achiever, I used to think of someone who wanted to be super rich or who wanted to, it was very much tied to financial success or business success. And look, I want those things. I want those things more than ever since working with you, because now I believe in myself. I believe I can do it. Right. But I just wanted to get over the stuff I had been carrying around. I wanted to know what was blocking me from feeling good when I had everything that I thought that I wanted. It was like I had the husband, I had the house, I had the family, I had the business, and I still really wasn't feeling the joy from it.
Yeah.
And it's like, what was that about? So I think that I was looking for high achievement in joy.
Yeah.
And people don't put enough value on that. Like, happiness is one thing, but are you excited about life? And that's what I was missing.
Yes. Great. I mean, I think we accomplished a lot.
We did.
We've been through a lot of subject matters in your life, right? Like we've been through a lot, and I'm very proud of, where we've been, what we've accomplished, and where we're going. And when I really speak of achievement, it really is figuring out how you want to measure your life. That song, Measure Your Life in Love, whatever that, who sings that song from Rent, right? Like, how do you want to measure your life? What do you want your life to be for and about? And how are you going to fulfill on that for real? And then what do you want to focus on and what's most important to you? And then there's a lot of things that plague us, right? Relationships, lots of things, right? And then a format and a language so that you can learn how to address yourself and have hard conversations with people. So everything I'm doing is developing tools and a language so that you can go in on yourself. And really, the hokey line I use is actually design your life. Stop living a reaction to everything.
Yes. So that's exactly what I had been doing. I was the most reactive person. Life was always happening to me. Things were always happening to me. People were always doing things to me. It was all about that. First of all, I was centering myself in the middle of all the drama instead of understanding that I didn't have to be a part of it. That was one thing. But in a practical way, I wasn't taking any action.
Right.
I felt helpless and hopeless and desperate and depressed because I was just sitting thinking that I was playing the victim.
Yes.
That's the easiest way to say it.
Yes.
So we have a question from Jackie, who I love, who's part of my private community. She says, I've always struggled with discipline. And she wants to change that. For example, I do great working out, eating right, and then abandon it. Okay, well, we're going to tell you why. I want to be a high achiever. I want to enjoy what I do for my work, and I continue to start and stop growth towards that. What's a good practice tip to start developing self-discipline?
That's like a setup, right? Like, I didn't plant her, everyone, but I really do have a good answer. Okay,
I know you do.
So the day that everyone is like, there are promises you don't need a promise to keep it. It is true. There are things you're reliable for doing. And then there are things you're never going to be reliable for doing and that you want to do them. Right. So in the area where you're suffering because you really wish you were different about something, you do have all the power. But if you're waiting for the day that you like literally change, like the mood comes over you and now you just do it. Yeah. This is not that method. This does not answer to that, right? This answers to that the little voice in your head can, like, I have the voice in my head that's a criminal. There is a voice in your head that can be a criminal. And it really is more convenient to stop exercising so that it can watch more Netflix and eat a bag of potato chips and work hard because, right, like, and then repeat this cycle. And then, like, part of the cycle is be mad at yourself, little self-loathing, and then get up on the horse again. Okay, so ready? Don't do it alone. Get a buddy.
Yes.
Don't do it alone. Get a buddy. You need to make a promise to someone who enjoys holding you to the promise, right? So all I have to do is tell one of my kids I will pay them $10 if I break a promise. And I tell them it's going to be for 4 weeks. And so right now I'm in a promise that I am not in love with, and it's even worse because it's working. Right. So ready? I took the half and half out of my coffee. And I even went as far as to put a little bulletproof in it, right? And mix it with coconut oil. And, if I didn't understand that I wasn't addicted to the caffeine, I'm actually addicted to the good flavor of coffee, which was interesting. Anyway, so I had to live with making that promise outside of myself, right? Because I would not be trusted. And so I put a rule in: black coffee, 6 weeks, no going back, the end, right? And so it's now been like 2 weeks. It's almost 2 weeks, right? And you're like, are you enjoying it? Yeah. I really liked coffee before, but I am but it's different, and I'm changing, and I'm laughing at myself, but I'm keeping the promise, and I'll pay the $10. And then you go, well, what happens at the end of the 6 weeks? I make another choice. Do I really want that thing or not? Did it work? Right. Mm-hmm. And so for me, it's a miracle that I don't leave it up to my mood. Mm-hmm. I play with my kid and teach them integrity and keeping promises, and I'll pay the money, and they're having fun helping me be true to something that I want to change. So I'm actually making change totally doable. Yes. Did that answer the question?
Yeah. And I'm sorry, I'm echoing a little bit, but I'll add to that. So in my group coaching, where I use the Handel Method as the curriculum and the basic platform for the coaching, I assign everyone buddies. Yeah. So on top of having the group coaching structure, which I think is so amazing. And by the way, in the video, or not in the video description, in the comments for this, but you'll find it in the video description later when you're watching in replay, I have a link to the interview, which is the online self-guided, but there's also support there program that I integrate into my group coaching, and I highly recommend it. And you get a discount, a big discount, when you use the link in the comments or the video description. But also to my Patreon, where I have a monthly group coaching check-in accountability session with everybody. So those 2 links are there. Right. But so I give everyone a buddy, and I'm telling you, when someone's watching you, it makes a big difference. Yes. And we're on this planet, not born in eggs and remain in bubbles where we're impervious to influence or connection. We're here to be with each other and to help each other and to hold each other's hands. And help is so necessary. So right now, which people know I'm already in the middle of because I've been talking about it on all my platforms, I am in a 30-day practice challenge with you, where I have to email you every single day about every single negative, weird thought that comes into my head. The really deep, dark stuff, the really, the fun stuff, the weird stuff. I love it. I'm telling you that since starting this, well, this is what it's done in a practical way. And I think everyone's going to relate to it. You described it to me as taking an energetic dump. And I have relayed that message. So if you're removing the toxins, you're just like you take your daily poop. And that really resonated with me as a health coach. But just removing those toxins every day, getting that stuff out of the way, making way for new nourishment, nutrients, information, whatever. So I'm taking this energetic dump every day. And I am letting go easily, because it's been my practice for a while, of stuff that has been literally on a loop in my head for years. Almost for a lifetime, beyond my adult life, like stuff from teenage years is coming up. So I'm getting rid of it. I'm getting rid of it. I'm getting rid of it. Yeah. And I realized that it really wasn't the quantity of the stuff in my life that was holding me back. It was the loop. I really only have 10 repeating thoughts, right? It's like the same bullshit every single day. So I started weeding those out, getting rid of them, dumping them. All of a sudden, I have room to think of good stuff.
Well, wait, one thing.
What?
What? It isn't like journaling to yourself. So Bex, so because Bex sends me her dump, right? Then what's happening? It's actually called a purge. She purges every day, right?
I call it a dump.
It's good because that's a good example of what I had to do. It both work. Either end. Hey, okay. So, but why it works is because she's sending it to me, like someone who cares. Like again, the buddy. And the minute she sends it to me, it's not that I'm going to read it. That's not what's important. It's that she's setting it free, and it's not true. Because if she thought that these creepy thoughts were really real, you wouldn't share that. They bring shame. They're you. The reason, the biggest problem that we have with our negative inner dialogue is we don't take the time to hear it. But when we do listen to it, we feel it, we believe it, we're engaged in it, versus we have, like, that's our loop, right? We don't separate from it. And so the act of Bex having to like confess negative cockamamie is what I call it. So that she's not the thoughts and those loops which create reality for you, or experience, or your moodiness, or why you hit snooze, or why you ate the cookie, or whatever you're doing because you're looping or blaming, there's like a separate in the morning. First thing you do, see what's there, right? And it's the best, right?
It is the best.
So, and then what really gets to happen is then your higher self, right? Like, so if the dump is your lower self, then the higher self just got, hey, bye-bye, right? Like it literally can say bye-bye. And then if you actually design your day, which is another part of the tools we teach, then it really is, what is my day for? And it's not like the to-do list. It really is, what is my day for? Like, what am I out to accomplish? So back to my adorable overachievers that want to achieve, the question is, what do you want to be achieving? And most people are not answering it from like an accomplishment of being combined with doing. Right? So let's say you're doing the laundry, right? Do you understand? Put on the music, have a ball, and even tell yourself what you're going to think about and dream about. That's directing your mind. But if you don't figure out what the loops are, you can't actually do something different, because you believe all the plagues. And maybe you have good ones. I pray for you, but maybe you don't.
There's also, I teach this in meditation, that meditation isn't about thinking about nothing. It's maybe you can just focus on, well, I know you're not a meditator.
I did 6 weeks of meditation twice a day. And I really did love it. And in my 20s, I spent like at least 3 years meditating every day. Like I did many periods.
So,
but yes, you're right. I'm not a meditator.
You think about one thing. And the reason why I encourage people to just focus on one thing, and even if it's your breath or a mantra or whatever, it's because it crowds out the other thoughts. It disallows you from having all this other stuff going on. So in the negative way, these repeating thought patterns, these negative thought loops, all these things are crowding out anything good that can come into your life. So purging them, dumping them. First thing in the morning, before I look at social media, before I answer my emails, I'm just getting it out. It allows me for the rest of the day to move on to other things, to design my day in a better way, to show up in a better way. And then to also, when they show up, I go, I dealt with you. Because it was intentional, it was conscious, it was action oriented. And that's the other part of it. This isn't journaling, the thing that I do every morning, because that's just kind of like, I don't know, it's like emotional masturbation. I just, like putting it out there and it's like, oh, look at me, look at all the stuff that's going wrong. And sometimes I'll feel good and sometimes I won't. This is intentionally getting rid of something or putting something out there in front of me and then someone else, which is very important. And then there's another element of, and I've talked about this a lot, the talking back, the speaking truth to the lie that's going on in my head. So the difference between coaching and, say, therapy, which I love both. Therapy is great. You go, you talk a lot. Sometimes you make a plan. Sometimes you don't. It's a lot of unloading. It's a lot of rehashing. Where coaching is, you get to do all that talking, rehashing, unloading, but then there's an action associated with it. Because I need action. It's like, what can I do? What can I do? How do I fix this? How do I do this now?
And I'm in the rewire and removal business, right? And the talk back, again, what's happening is you're giving you're literally being your own placebo. Right? You're inventing your own healing, right? So this is the negative inner dialogue, and this is what I have to say to that, right? And then when you literally say what you actually want to say back to it. You literally handled the dark and the light. Like, this is dark, and now light just answered to the dark, right? And then you're developing your ability to think and be in charge of what that mind is doing. And so meditation is really, for you, like learning how to like take over the hardware. And I have been called how to fix the software, like what you're doing moment to moment and how you're interacting on earth, and you can't like check out and go sit on a mat, right? Like, how do you be alive and take over the mind?
I'm doing it. So I put up a huge comment that covered your beautiful face, but it was important, and I'm going to read it to you. So Emma says, I have lately realized that not challenging myself and not doing what I need to do to evolve and be happy was a way of avoiding anxiety. And I would have never found this out about myself. Block to Bliss, which was my group coaching program, and the Inner You program isn't just something you'll do once and be over with it. Good point. I'll stick with you forever. Or it'll stick with you forever. I hope you'll stick with me too, Emma. Do it. It's the best gift you can give to yourself. Aww. It really is, because it is a forever plan. And I think that sounds daunting to people at first. When I say like, you're doing this work forever, it's about maintenance, it's about management, but you're not managing the same stuff. It's that you work on something and you move on. There's always going to be new stuff. Every year. Like, if you go, are you living true to this method? I'm like, yeah. And by the time you get to a place where you've cleaned out a bunch of the past or things that you're not happy about, you then end up in what you were saying, which is maintenance. And then every year I write new dreams. I take on new promises, like something I want to do, not something someone tells me to do, something I want. And I keep making sure that I'm in love with my life. Or if there's something I'm not in love with, I have to go deal with it. Right. And then it's all mapped out, and I'm designing my life. That's the privilege of being alive, is that, and then, many of us have real issues that we don't have enough insights on, but that's what the program is all about. That's what's really happening. And then once you learn how to have the insights, many of them are done. Like, you actually disappear many things. We have disappeared many things. And then the truth is then you end up having to learn how to keep promises. So a good buddy, so then the maintenance is your way of, really having a great life over time. Like, when do you stop exercising in life? Everybody? Never. When do you stop eating in life? Right. Never. When do you stop sleeping in life, right? Like, water, right? So the truth is when you stop being true to yourself or having promises that make you happy in your life, one would say, if you're not happy, you don't have enough of the right promises. Wow. So real talk for a moment, because people see me in all of my many moods, but I always try to bring a bit of light, to my corner of the internet. But real talk is just a few weeks ago, and the reason why I'm in this 30-day practice with you is because I emailed you with an emergency email.
Yes.
I was probably lower than I've been in a decade.
Right.
I was in the depths of my own despair. I was feeling hopeless. It felt like the whole world was closing in around me. And I didn't realize then, because when you're in that place, when you're feeling hopeless, you're just like, nothing's going to work. Right. And I've tried everything, and I know what they're going to say. So why even bother? I had fallen out of my practice.
Yes.
Like I was breaking all my promises. I was out of my practice. I wasn't holding myself accountable. And,
and you fall back right into the old spot, a little harder because you're a lot smarter and you even have been much higher up. So when you go, it's like, it was the worst ever. The reason it's the worst ever wasn't because it was the worst time in your life ever. It was the most that you could feel that there was a gap, right? You brought the gap back. And then we could have one call, 30 minutes, figure out all the promises you weren't keeping, totally forgive yourself for real, and then go reboot, right? Like day one. Right? It's just day one. It's okay. Everyone with their wishing it was different. It's not, it's here. Let's go.
And I want people to know that too. It's that I didn't cure myself of anxiety. I didn't cure myself of my social anxiety stuff. I have a practice. And when I fell out of the practice, it did feel like it was much harder because I had fallen much further. But it was a phone call. I was on my way to New York for an event and we spoke for a half hour. You're right. And it was like, because I got it, because I did have a practice. And that's another thing that's encouraging, is that you're going to fall down again.
Yeah.
And it's when you have this practice, when you have these methods, when you have a system, it's so much easier to get back on track. I have a question from Michelle, though. She said, I'm going to show it. What is the very, very first step toward change? Have read and believe in all that you speak, but I seem to fall down on step one, I believe she meant to say.
Step one is which one? What is she referring to?
Well, she's saying just like, how do you just initiate change? Like if you want to change your life, what is the first thing you do?
You have to have a dream. You have to have a vision. It has to be for something. It has to be deep. It has to be meaningful. It has to, like, if you're not making change, you're comfortable. I didn't say comfortable is not uncomfortable, comfortably uncomfortable, but there's something you're used to, right? And then you're choosing that over coming up with a dream or something you really want more. And the amount that desire is required is real. Mm-hmm. Right? You have to want to get laid. You have to want to have an intimate relationship with your husband, or you will let your sex life die, right? Because Netflix is actually quite easy and really entertaining, and you don't have to do much, and you giggle, right? So it's, it takes something, but the result and the ambition, you have to have that, I have promises around sex and my marriage. We've been together 22 years, right? And I am not going down with the lame sex life, right? Just no way, right? And I really understand why I could go down with the ship now, right? Because it's amazing, right? So that I could be lazy. And so I never question my promise. I never question my actual consequence. And I am so proud of myself that I know I'm a jerk, and I'm never trying to, I'm just managing the jerk I am. And it has nothing to do with whether I love my husband. I'm a jerk, right? I need consequences, or I will put the coffee with the cream and the sugar right back in there, right? And be like, guess what? I deserve it, right? Right? And I won't even feel guilty. I'm such a jerk. I don't even feel guilt, nothing, because I said so, right? So I need those promises, or else I won't be being true to myself, and the longer play. So the desire for some other state that you want. I want this in my life. I want more money. I want more love. I want more fun. I want more creativity. I want less screen time. I want to feel more peaceful. I want to have, more connected with my mother. It could be anything, but it will, if you don't have it now, you need to dream it and really get the desire, and then you can make promises and keep them. And then don't do it alone, and put in a consequence. And if you pay that consequence 3 times, change the consequence. On the third one, you're like, I need more money, right? It needs to be more painful. Yeah. I don't get screens for 2 days. And for most people, all you have to do is start messing with their alcohol, right? Or their sugar, or their Netflix, or their Instagram, right? So it's very easy to screw with yourself, so you keep your promise. And obviously you'll be okay if you miss a TV show tonight.
So I want to tell people a little bit about what I have accomplished.
I want to hear.
Let's bring it back to me for a minute. So
absolutely.
I have this dream life. I have a vision that has changed throughout this practice in this past year and a half. It's changed a lot as I become more clear about what I truly want and what truly brings me joy. So I have this vision. I'm not there yet, because I don't even want to get there yet, because I have lots of work to do. But this is what's happened in the process. I am 99% sugar-free. It's amazing. There's times when I say, you know what, I'm going to have the sugar, and then I have the consequence for it, which the next day is no processed foods. So it's 24 hours plus with no processed foods, and it keeps me on track. I have been battling my weight with Hashimoto's, hypothyroidism. I know a lot of people in my audience suffer from hypothyroid and struggle with weight loss. So I've been battling my weight. I gained 25 pounds. I was feeling really miserable. I just knocked off my first 5 pounds of that. My doctor's like, how are you doing it? You should be 100 pounds overweight with my levels. So that's fantastic. Gluten-free. I don't yell anymore. If you can believe it, the smiling face is, I have a very fiery temper and I'm very quick tempered. And my family was walking around eggshells and it was affecting the relationship with my kids and my husband. And I no longer yell. I no longer nag my husband about his business. And as a result of that and him working with Lauren, he's out right now making good money. And it's really awesome. And I thought that I needed to micromanage that to make that happen. So he has turned his life around and his career around. I feel confident. I feel excited about my business. I'm trying new projects. I'm putting myself out there. I am showing up like I haven't shown up in years because I was afraid because of things happening with my body and my face and my life and my, my depression and my anxiety. And that's all just gone. Now, it doesn't mean that I feel awesome every day because I don't. Mm-hmm. And you see it when you follow me. Mm. But it's none of those things that burdened me and stopped me before are stopping me any longer. I am on a forward trajectory towards bliss. For real.
For real.
For real.
For real. Which really ultimately is the point of being alive. Right? Yeah. It's like really what we're here for in however long we're here.
Okay, so let me see. Having the dream first is so important, says Lindsay. Yes. Emma says, good job, Bex. Thank you. I will take that cookie. Yeah, so I want to get some closing words from you about whatever you want to talk about. Okay. I'm going to continue this conversation with my audience. You are going to be back in a couple months. We're going to do this again, but I want all your comments. I want your questions. I want you to check the links in the video description and in the comments. If you're watching a replay, please continue to comment because I am a social media junkie. I love it. I will read everyone. I will answer them because another thing that I don't do anymore is avoid. I have tremendous integrity and I never lie. It's impossible from doing this work. I don't even tell white lies anymore. I don't even lie to my kids. So I'm here for you all. So go ahead, Lauren. Let's take us out.
Well, first of all, I love you. I love your spirit. I love what you represent. And I love that you are leading the way through transparency. Like that is the sexiest thing I've ever seen and really original for the human race to not have to posture everything. And really that the new real is sexy. The truth is sexy. That is one of my favorite lines. And you're rocking that. So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. What I think is amazing about the people who are going to ever listen to this is that your community actually, like, they will love each other and they support each other and they're in it under your kind of umbrella of care. Mm-hmm. And that be happy now and figure out everything and love yourself. So I really just think that our work together is so good and that people should buddy up and take on one promise, right? Like if you're listening to this, it was because, you were supposed to make a promise and it's one and put it in a contract, which means give it an amount of time, make the promise very specific and tell it to someone who will hold you to it, like your 20-year-old, 10-year-old, to someone who will charge you and giggle and want you to win also, but will collect. And if you do that, and what you're finding out is that you have that power at all times to make any change you want, any second you're ready, at any time. And if you're not making a promise and you're not doing it, please do this one thing. Don't loathe yourself, hate yourself, blame anything. Okay. Just choose what you chose. Right. Right. In there, you're in charge of loving your life. It's possible and you might have to change things, but it's your choice.
And that's the biggest good news is that, the title of your book is Maybe It's You. And I often have a hard time sharing that because I don't want people to think that it is an indictment of their character, but it's good news because if it's you, you get to change it. Yeah. If you're the reason that you're messing up, then you could be the reason that you stop messing up.
Wait, this line, my whole life, right, was like when I was miserable in my love life and I have this moment of a dawning. Maybe it's me. And the minute I go, maybe it's me, the next minute I can do something about it. And it is like my favorite line. I still use it on myself. It works for the positive and the negative, right? Like, did that just happen? Maybe it's me, right? Like it works either way. And I'm sorry, right? It really is always true, right? It is.
It's exciting.
For anything you want to change.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's an opportunity. It's a gift. It's a gift to all of this free will and personal responsibility. So last time, I'm going to invite you to the link in the video description and in the comments if you're watching live. The first link is for Inner You, which is a phenomenal, phenomenal tool. You get a huge discount on it when you use that link. The second link is for Patreon. If you join my Bliss Circle, the first Sunday of every month, including this Sunday, July 1st is the first one, I'm going to be doing live group coaching. So if you're doing the work, if you're a past client of mine, if you've done Blocks of Bliss, or if you're in Inner You, come back for accountability. I love you so much. You have no idea. Lauren knows because I talk about you guys all the time. But I love you so much, and I want to support you. And I'll tell you, the reason why, the real reason why, the reason you know I'm going to show up is because through my work with you and my leadership of you and supporting you, I feel so loved and supported and led. So we're in it together. Show up. All right. Yes. Thank you, Lauren, so much. I am going to end this. I'm going to chat with you for one more minute, but I'm going to say goodbye to everyone who's watching, and I'm going to answer your comments. So keep doing it. And I will see you later, people.
Thanks for having me.